So I recently had another question related to someone having constipation, and she wanted to know, should I consume more fiber? So let's just dive in and talk about it. So fiber is one of those things that they will tell you to consume to prevent colon cancer, right? You've probably heard that a million times. It actually does not prevent colon cancer. And I'm going to put some links down below. You got to check this out. In fact, nearly every single recommendation that they will tell you, someday I'm going to find out who they is not just completely false, it's the complete opposite in many cases, okay? And a lot of the studies they use involving fiber is not from vegetable fiber, it's from gar gum or some other fiber. So you need to know that. Now, I am the guy that recommends 7 to 10 cups of vegetables or salad every single day, but not necessarily just for the fiber. It's for the nutrients, it's for the phytonutrients, minerals and vitamins and things like that. Yes, the fiber will help because it feeds the colon, but if your digestive system is compromised, okay, and you don't have the capacity to digest this much vegetable, what's going to happen is when you add all these vegetables, you're going to get gas and bloating and pain. So here are the conditions in which you would not want to consume this much salad or vegetables or fiber, okay? If you had constipation, if you had diverticulitis, if you had bloating, abdominal pain, IBS, food allergies, SIBO, in which you have too much bacteria in the small intestine when you should have it in the large, if you have hemorrhoids, or even rectal bleeding. So being constipated is very similar to the traffic in Washington, D.C. right around 4:30 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon on a weekday. It is so congested, bumper to bumper, you're not moving at all. In fact, I'm in Virginia now. Coming here, I was in a traffic jam. It took me forever to get here. So do we want to add more cars to the congestion? Do we want to add more fiber to a colon that's already impacted? It's illogical, okay? We don't want to add more bulk to a congested colon. What do we want to do? We want to do intermittent fasting. Why? The time it takes for food to go through you is roughly about 35 to 40 hours, okay? Not 24 hours. It's like longer than that. It's 35 to 40 hours. So if you start cutting down the frequency of eating, you'll give your system a chance to process this food. And that would be the most important thing that I would recommend. Start doing intermittent fasting immediately. And I have a link down below if you're new to my channel. I would also cut out fiber, including vegetables, for a month. Now there's a new trend now called the carnivore diet, where a lot of people are cutting out fiber and vegetables, and they're getting great improvements with their digestion. So I'm going to do a separate video on the carnivore diet. The reason why it works for a lot of people is you're bringing the carbs down to 0. And most people have too much insulin, so right there you're going to drop the inflammation in the body. If you have any digestive issues, and then you take away this fiber that's irritating it so much, you're going to feel great, okay? There is a correct way to do it. I personally don't do it. I find I do much better on a combination of vegetables and animal products, okay? And if you're only eating like muscle meat and you're not doing organ meats, I think that's a big mistake. But there is a way to do it if you wanted to go that route, to test it out to see if your body responds to it. But if your system is working and you don't have these issues, my opinion is that the nutrients in the vegetables are going to help you more than they're going to hurt you. In fact, I haven't heard any studies of the long-term chronic problem with eating vegetables, okay? It's just not going to happen. And also realize that fiber is not digested by you. Your body can't digest it, okay? It's your microbes. So if there's a microbe problem, either too many microbes or not enough, you're going to have a hard time with fiber because you're going to get excessive, what's called fermentation. And you're going to develop more methane gas, okay? Hydrogen gas or carbon dioxide or certain types of gases because of the imbalance of microbes in your gut. Now, another interesting point, when I was trying to be a vegan in my 20s, I did not do well. It tore up my intestine. I always felt bloated. I was feeling depressed. And then I switched over to more meat. And what was interesting back then was I was eating fatty hamburger and buffalo burgers without the bun or anything. And my bowels would just go. I'm like, there's no fiber in there. How could I actually go? Well, that was the stimulation of bile. When you increase your fat, you stimulate and release something called bile salts from your liver that's stored in the gallbladder. Well, bile salts are a lubricant. It's going to lubricate the colon and help your digestion. So if you have digestive problems, go real low on the vegetables and maybe even cut them out for a period of time. But I do find that when you add more vegetables or fiber, you make this worse. And some of you might respond to replacing your fiber with fermented vegetables, okay, and you'll do very well, unless you have this condition right here, which is SIBO. So you just have to test it out. And this is basically a situation where you don't want to add fiber and you don't want to add probiotics because you have too many bacteria already in the small intestine. You can either get a test to figure this out, or you can just take probiotics and see if it makes you feel better. If it makes you feel worse, then we might have a situation right here. All right, guys, there you have it, and I'll see you in the next video. Hey, if you're liking this content, please subscribe now, and I will actually keep you updated on future videos.